Looking for the best essay writing tips in 2025?
Walter AI makes writing essays easier than ever before. It helps refine your grammar, improve your structure, and enhance your readability. Let's see how it works. Whether you're writing essays for academic success or personal projects, it never hurts to have a more polished and more refined essay. If you're looking to do that, Walter AI is a great tool that can help you along in that process. Let's dive in and see how it works. So here I have an essay on the pros and cons of solar energy. So I'm going to copy and paste that. Then we'll put that into Walter AI here, and we will go with high school, and we'll say this is an academic paper, and then humanize and scan. So Walter AI is going through your essay and finding areas that need a little bit of improvement. Then it'll change it for you automatically and output that here. Let's go through and find a few areas that Walter AI improved for us here. So just right off the bat, this first sentence, solar energy is a renewable and sustainable source. Sort of flipped this sentence here, so instead of saying that, it went with solar energy is a popular alternative to fossil fuels. And then it went into the next part, which in my opinion sounds a lot better. Didn't think of that when I wrote it though. Then here, one of its primary advantages is its environmental friendliness, as solar power generation produces no greenhouse gas emissions, blah, 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 blah. Then here, instead of saying primary advantages, it goes into one major benefit, then dives straight into the sentence. One major benefit of solar energy is its eco-friendliness, instead of saying environmental friendliness. And then instead of saying as solar power generation produces, it says because solar power is generated. That's definitely a smoother way to put that, and Walter AI did that nicely for us there. Let's keep moving here. I'm not going to go through each sentence, but we can at least skip around here. Solar energy also provides energy independence, generate their own electricity, lower utility bills. Here's this sentence. Promotes energy independence. Mostly kept that one the same, but flipped a few things around. Next one, practical solution for those who live in remote or off the grid areas. Once again, just sort of flipped that sentence around. So instead of saying that, it went with in remote or off grid areas. Solar panels provide a practical solution. I feel like emphasizing the fact that solar panels are the practical solution there and putting that first in the sentence sounds much better. That's definitely a slight improvement over what I had before. And here, just to close up the first paragraph, instead of saying additionally, governments worldwide offer incentives and then in commas, such as tax credits and rebates. Here, we just have the little hyphens there to say, separate that out from providing incentives, what kind of incentives, what's tax credits and rebates to spur on solar adoption. Definitely a nicer way to put that, I think, instead of breaking up the whole sentence by saying such as, it just adds that part, a quick little definition in to help out the reader understand what it's going for. Then here, just to start off, however, solar energy has its limitations. We just go with although, and instead of having two separate sentences here, it combines them together. Although solar energy has very long-term savings, the high upfront cost of purchasing and installing can be a barrier to many people. I think rather than having this as these two sentences here, just capping it off with despite the long-term savings, it does sort of emphasize that the slight benefit that comes along with it, but it then goes into the next part, which sort of flows nicer as the paragraph goes on, sort of explaining more of these downsides rather than being negative, positive, negative. It's just gonna be like, although there are some positives, here's all the negatives. And that's what we'll see in these next couple sentences here. Solar energy production is also reliant on the weather. Once again, instead of saying weather dependent, nicely breaks that up. And then additionally, utility scale solar farms require substantial land area. Here it says large scale solar installations, which is kind of a little bit clunky there, and I think this definitely sounds a little better over here. Solar panels also have a limited lifespan, typically looking at 25 to 30 years. Over here, generally sticks with the same idea, but it says in addition, which I think is a little bit of a nicer transition there into this next sentence, and disposing of them can be environmentally challenging. Instead of saying can pose environmental challenges, like I definitely got to go with this side again here. Then in the end, just to wrap things up, here we say despite these drawbacks. Over here we just say despite these cons, which sort of emphasizes the pros and cons look that I was going for. The constant innovations in solar technology and increasing recognition of climate dilemma and solar energy is a vital part of any shift. I think that's a great way to wrap it up. Just to look at this a little bit more broadly here as well, I think it added in some nice transitions. I know I pointed out earlier that we had the in addition right here. That sort of moves nicely from point to point. And then like the although here, it really did well in sort of refining the essay here, making it sound a lot better. I think in the essay that I originally have written here, it's a little bit, here's a point, here's a point, here's a point, but it doesn't go, here's a point, then here's this next one, and in addition to that, here's this next one. Walter AI really just improved upon what I had already put in there. I kind of put in the rough draft of information, and then Walter AI took that to the next level by adding in some of these transitions, refining my grammar a little bit. All looks great. So just to wrap things up, Walter AI helped organize our ideas, it improved on our grammar and our tone, it gave us a better structure, and it made our essay more polished and more professional. If you're ready to transform your essay writing today, Walter AI is offering a free trial. Why don't you give it a try and write your best essay ever?